Cutback for Vasilev, and Lukic! A banger of a strike for Jovan Lukic's first MLS goal!
It's fallen now to Westfield! Oh, wow! He's nearly taken the roof of the net off! Philadelphia pounce again!
Who gets his goal in his Union debut? The record signing, off and running in his first appearance for the club.
Hello and welcome to the Free Kick Podcast. My name is Todd, and this is not a podcast that you guys, Union fans, have seen from Jose and I the last couple of weeks, or really the last few months. We finally have an actual player interview, and you could argue that this is the biggest player in Philadelphia Union history. I know for me personally, this is the coolest thing that I've been able to do on the podcast. This is for sure the biggest interview Jose and I have done together on the podcast. And a big shout out to Jose for getting this all set up, and super happy to get Kai Wagner on the podcast to talk about his time in Philadelphia, to talk about life in Birmingham City. And I think this is a podcast that you guys, the listeners, Union fans, and even Birmingham City fans, I would imagine, tune in to the podcast. But a lot of great stuff from Kai. Very, very blessed to have him on the podcast for 52 minutes. And Jose, myself, and Kai worked through 3 different time zones. And I'm just over the moon that we were able to get this interview to work. Thank you to everybody just making time in the schedule for us to give you guys content that I always say that you guys deserve, and give you guys an interview that I think you guys will definitely like. But without further ado, let's get straight into the interview. All right, so we are joined by a guy who needs no introduction, former Philadelphia Union left back, current Birmingham City left back, and super honored, first off, to have him joining the show. And we're so grateful for your time joining us, Kai. But Kai, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Jose, how are you doing over there in San Francisco?
Yeah, I am in San Francisco. I made my way from Philadelphia here for a work trip, and I did not want to let the lead get cold. So when I got in touch with Kai and he was open to chatting, I figured, who the hell cares? I'll do it all the way from California if I have to. So eager to have you here, Kai. I think it's fair to say we talked a little before we started recording, and we're just so, I know Todd and I were just incredibly happy for you and the move, but also the immediate result. And frankly, and we'll touch on this a little bit later, but how quickly you've changed minds about MLS out in England in a very, very quick 2-3 week span. So eager to chat more.
For sure. But let's go ahead and start, I guess, from the beginning, from when you first joined Philadelphia Union back in 2019, Kai. You joined from the third division from Germany, and you were relatively an unknown player to, I would say, majority of the fan base, for sure, people in the media. And you did have some fans questioning what is Ernst Tanner doing, finding a player in the third division of Germany. But you quickly made a name for yourself in Philadelphia, Kai. So I guess I want to start with, when did you first hear about the interest from the Union, and did you know much about MLS prior to the move?
No, first of all, I didn't know a lot about the MLS. It was still everything was pretty new there, around there. And like I always said, I always had talks in the winter time there with another MLS club, where the deal just fell through because I didn't felt comfortable to go overseas to this place, and just thought I don't think that's the right city for me to live there. And then the contact really quick came with Ernst Tanner. It helped me a little bit more to see how he sees everything in German a little bit more, and just the way he was scouting players, the way he introduced himself, the way he introduced the coaches and all the stuff to me. And like I said, for me, then the move was easy. I went to Philadelphia, looked around the facility and all the stuff, went to the stadium, saw the stadium. The team was already down in Clearwater. I remember that day. So it was pretty easy. And then I flew to Philly, flew down to Clearwater, never went back to Germany again.
So then the rest was history, as they would say. And yeah, you, I think it's so interesting too, because obviously the FA Cup draw came out yesterday, and you're obviously going against former Philadelphia Union, your former teammate in Brendan Aronson, and he's been in terrific form just like yourself, Kai. But when I was looking at your guys' time together, it dawned on me that his first career goal with the Union came from your assist. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that day. I was just chatting yesterday with Brendan too, and like just texted him and said like, I can't wait for that game. Really excited for that game. I was hoping to get like a Premier League club. So like really, really excited for that game. But I really remember the game, like how it was like yesterday, probably.
And for those Union fans that I know it's been, 7 years now, it was Atlanta United, but how can anybody forget that time, that goal by Brendan and Brad Guzan just falls straight on his butt. And yeah, the Union had a lot of good memories against Atlanta United during Kai and Brendan's time with the Union. But let's go ahead and go to, I think, such an interesting time, because you get done your 2019 season, the Union make the playoffs for back-to-back season. They win the first playoff game in club history against New York Red Bulls. And then you guys start the season off against LAFC, and then pretty much the world shuts down because of COVID. And here you guys are bringing in new players in 2020, not knowing what the season's going to look like. And the league says, you know what, let's go ahead and have this tournament down in Orlando in Disney World at the MLS's Next Back Tournament. Just how was that experience for you? Obviously, your first career goal came down in that tournament against Inter Miami, which is so weird that you guys had games during the morning, then late at night. I mean, what a chaotic couple months for you guys. And you guys were away from your family too, which I know, Kai, you're very, very close with your family. So it had to be close to you. You're trying to get settled in Philadelphia in 2019, and now here you go in Orlando in the bubble, away from your family, and have to wear a mask and social distance and all that stuff. So how was that tournament for you?
Tournament was crazy, but like I had to say, like for me, COVID almost came to a good time because I got injured in preseason that year. So I remember that year like perfectly. I got injured, couldn't travel to LA. Had my broken fibula bone during this time, so like my bone could like heal perfect during this time until June, when we got back to like lonely training in down in Wilmington, where everybody had like a small square, like probably 15 feet from 15 feet, and just like everybody had to train like itself. Testing in the morning, everybody had like a time slot of like 45 minutes, a little bit preseason there, and Liam was born in March, so like that was also the time where I could like really, really enjoy the time with him at home and like learn him a lot of stuff, and like also got to use to everything, because like me and Jenny were first-time parents, was everything new. Nobody could really help us, so we had to learn everything himself. So like for me, it was like a fantastic time. But then we moved down to Orlando. Jenny and Liam was flying to Germany, so I didn't see them like for almost 8 weeks. I remember the day when like they came back, and I thought like Jenny brought a new baby with her, because like he was just double the size. That was the not so nice time, but like I always said, like the bubble was like a really, really, really cool experience for all of us. I've never seen Alejandro Bedoya playing that much Warzone during this time like we did down there. The first 3 days, nobody of us was like allowed to leave like the hotel room. So we got food in the hotel and just played. I think the squad was always me, Ale Bedoya, Joe Bendick, and the fourth one I can't remember. But like we played like the first 3 days probably from 72 hours, probably 50 hours PlayStation. So you couldn't do anything else. And then it was just during the time, like we had like such a great group, such a great connection. The fourth one was Sergio. Sergio was the fourth one all the time. So had a really good group down there together. It was a crazy time. It was a really good tournament for us because we won the group stage. So we got the points into like the MLS season in the regular season too. And then we lost in, I think, the semifinals against Portland. So it was a good experience, but I mean, the time away from the family, like you guys said, like I'm really close to my family, was tough. But the experience cool, but like I don't want to have that again. Testing every day, testing in the morning, testing in the evening, and you even saw that some teams just got kicked out because there were too many COVID cases. So it was a crazy time, definitely.
Yeah, it absolutely was a crazy time, and I mean, those Warzone days. I played with El Seno and Sergio Santos a couple times too, and I don't know how those guys were so good at soccer, and then let alone being good at video games. Who would you say out of all the players, who would you say was the best? You can say yourself too, Kai. That's totally fine.
No, the best by far was Joe Bendick during this time, but I also have to say I was always a good player. Now I don't play anymore since like a couple of years or something, since I have the kids. So like Ale Bedoya just was always allowed, like in preseason, to play PlayStation. He was just allowed to play in the bubble PlayStation. At home, he's not allowed to play PlayStation. So he had the time of his life as well. So like we had really good moments there.
I love that.
God, that's so funny. And Kai, I can relate so hard to what you're saying because my first son was born March 14, 2020. So I remember going into the hospital with no COVID and then coming out with a child and the pandemic and trying to figure out how to parent first time all by myself. So we have some similarities in that front. And that's probably honestly where they stopped because of you're obviously a professional soccer player. I'm just a schmuck that talks into a microphone and has another job. But to kind of fast forward a little bit, I wanted to ask you about 2022, and there's really obviously so much to talk about, but what I really want to ask you about is obviously by most measures, 2022 was an incredible year all around for the team, for the club, for the city. Even though it ended just short of the ultimate goal by mere seconds, honestly, in your view, what was needed to get it over the line? And did you feel that the team and that season had the resources to do so? Did you feel like there was maybe a position where someone, like if there was a boost in one specific position, that you would have gotten over the line? I'm just so curious about that because obviously that's as close as the Union have ever been to the ultimate goal, and unfortunately during your time.
Yeah, I mean, that's always not a good topic, what I really like to talk about. But like you said, like we were so close this year. I think like the year was just incredible what we played this year. I felt like during the season, we just went to places, smashed teams like 6-0, 6-1 out and like out of the stadium and like all this stuff. Like this team just felt like almost unbeatable. I mean, this team had like couple young players. I mean, I remember Paxton Aronson was playing still there and like all this stuff. But I think one of the biggest things what we missed in the final was definitely Ale Bedoya, our captain. I think like he was like just like a stone piece in like this puzzle that we just played during the season. And like to miss your captain in the final is never good. I still thought like, when I remember the match, like I did, I never rewatched it. I also have to say that because like it was just like frustrating and all this stuff. But like I knew like I was thinking when we scored that 3-2 in the last minute that like that's it. I remember the last play where we just like always said, just let the guy throw the ball backwards, then we get a couple more seconds. Don't let him throw forward. And that was maybe a case where like we had young players in the team where they like just thought like just don't go like 100% anymore. That's it. And then Gareth Bale scored that header goal, and I thought if we go to PK shootout, you can't win that game anymore because the emotions were just like on LA side. Then we missed like the PKs. I missed the PK myself too, but like it was just so frustrating at this moment. But like I said, this season was just incredible with like all the accolades we had. Like my first MLS best 11 this year. I think that was the year where I also broke like the assist record for defender, 15 assists and all this stuff. So like this year it just felt incredible. But like I said, you're second, you didn't win the MLS Cup. That will always be in the back of our heads. It will always be in the back of our fans. But like I said in my goodbye letter, what I was incredibly proud is like that 3,000 crazy Philadelphia fans just traveled down. It's like a 6-hour flight to Los Angeles. They were louder than the LA fans, and that was just incredible, a proud moment. And it was probably one of the best moments of my Union career. Even we lost.
And honestly, one of the coolest moments and for the fan base, I would think. I mean, I was not there. I was busy raising a child, my second child at that point. But even the images of how full the stadium was back home with people watching on the big screen and just cheering, and obviously the heartbreak at the end, I'm sure was unbelievable. I know it was for even those that are not and are in the media, because we get so involved in following you all and asking you questions, hearing and getting to know you. So thank you for that. I would be remiss to not ask you this, Kai, because in 2023, you went through contract negotiations with the club. And one moment that sticks in my head is one of the games where the Pay Kai chant came out and everybody was screaming for you. Everybody was getting behind you. Did that have any movement in terms of contract negotiations? Like, what was that moment like, walking out of the tunnel and you just hear everybody chanting something like that for you, thousands of people getting behind you, and the fact that you wanted to be there, but you also wanted to be paid appropriately, because obviously interest has been from all over the world. So if you can talk a little about that and maybe what the negotiations were like, if you're comfortable with it, of course.
Yeah, no, of course. That was an incredible moment for me, for my family, for my friends, just to see like the support what I received like during this time, because like you often see like players who drop like their performance immediately when like contract negotiations are going like a little bit longer, or like a deal can't get reached or anything like that. So a lot of people like have that in the back of their head. I think we saw it also last season a little bit with like different players, that like just contract negotiations are always tough because you don't know what the future for you will hold. But like I thought I got like even like stronger during this time. This time pushed me a lot for myself too. I learned about myself a lot too. And like I said, just like these chants from the fans, how much they want to have me there was always there. And like I always said, like I don't look like for like a lot of like money or anything. For me, it has to be the right place to be in the moment. And I always said, like, I'm not a football player who just looks for money and just get the biggest deal what I can get. I want to have like the right people around me. I want to have where my family is happy. That's really, really important for myself too. And like I said, during this time, Philadelphia was always my option one. At one point, the negotiations just broke down a little bit more, because like they were just like more like saying we don't really like pay left backs, and like I didn't like these comments and all this stuff. And then I just said to my family, right now we just have to close the door a little bit more to Philadelphia, just go silent a little bit more. And like I was close to like fly to another team. Medicals were booked already and everything. And then I just got another call from Ernst Tanner, and he said, yeah, we do this and this now. My agent called me too. And I have to say, I can be open with that, that like I had to say, we cancel the flights now. I don't fly to the medical. We're flying back to Philadelphia as soon as possible. I wanna sign the contracts in Philadelphia in front of everybody. My neighbors didn't know about that either, because like they had a wedding in Punta Cana. So we surprised them in Punta Cana, flew down to Punta Cana, surprised them with the news. I mean, I will never forget the faces what they had, and they were all crying and all this stuff. So like that was a really, really special moment for myself too. And like I said, just during this time, I felt that this was the right place, and definitely the fans were helping me with that a lot too.
Do you know how, and this is sort of a funny aside, and then a follow-up question, do you know how etched in history of this fan base your hibachi party is?
Yeah, no, I saw like a lot of the comments and all the stuff, because like during this time, it really felt like for myself too, that like, I don't think we can get a deal done. So like, I always like, even like last year now I always usually did like a end of the year party, just like to thank them for like all the support they give me during the year and all the stuff. But like this time it really felt like it would be a goodbye. So it was like a lot of emotions during this party there, but like the emotions got bigger like when I came back again. So like I said, the goodbye party was there, but like a hello party was there too.
That's awesome. I think, Todd, you had a follow-up to that you were thinking about.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, Kai, throughout your time in Philly, you were open with the idea of wanting to go back to Europe eventually one day. And it seemed like every year, every transfer window, there was always links in newspapers linking you to different European clubs. Did you pay much attention to those rumors and speculation at all?
Like I said, I don't think it was like a lot of like rumors which got like really close to me. And I also have to say, like, it was not just rumors. Like, it was always like my decision over the last couple of years, always to say no to clubs. Like, it was really, really my decision that I like just didn't feel like that's the right place for myself. That's not the right league for myself and all this stuff. Or like just movement, like when like I remember the rumors, like I think 21 when Leeds came out, like I spoke personally with Jesse Marsh during this time and all this stuff, but like the deal just didn't happen because like I think they were spending already like 120 million or something in this transfer window, and he said like the owners just don't pay anymore, just don't want to like spend any more money or something like that. So like that was the only thing like where I said like okay, that would be an incredible step for me. Maybe during this time, like the step in the Premier League right away would also be like really, really huge and all this stuff. But like all the other rumors, of course, like people were sending me all the time, like stuff. My friends were sending me stuff like, what's there? Like, what's that? And all this stuff. So like a lot of rumors were like true, but like it was always my decision that I said no to clubs in the past. And like, I always had to feel comfortable for myself to like really move away from Philadelphia because like I said, it was 7 years my home now. It feels still like unreal a little bit, but the rumors often were telling the truth. But like I also often didn't like when people were saying the rumors of like the year starting again, like Kai, like his agent want to go away or his agent want to put in there or anything, because like it was always my decision. Like if I would say no to a club, I say no to a club because I need my family there with me. I need the right place to be, and I need the right place to perform. So.
Now, you talked about having a medical book. Was that within MLS or was it out of the league? Okay, cool. Jose?
Yeah, I'm just I'm smiling and I laugh a little bit because honestly, as someone who whether you follow my work or whatever, obviously I have good connections and I have good sources, and I've been pretty spot on with a lot of the stuff that happens within the union. And it's just so funny because I often hear about rumors, and I don't deal with rumors and speculation. I only want to make sure what I report is about to happen. Like, for example, your move to Birmingham, once I caught wind, I thought, yeah, this is happening. I thought it was unbelievable at first, and I thought, shit, you know what? It's not so unbelievable because the guy has earned it. So it's just funny to hear that even the players are listening and hearing to some of the stuff that floats around. And of course you are, because you have neighbors, you have family members who are probably hearing some of it and don't know all the inner workings and the machinations of the industry. So that's why I smile a little bit. But to a different topic that I'm really interested to hear about from you, and it's sort of the working with Jim Curtin and then the transition to Bradley Carnell. I'm so intrigued to hear from you. What was it like to work with Jim? And then kind of once you talk a little about that, what was the transition? And I don't know if the word chaos, because it happened so sudden that Jim was let go. What was that little chaotic period leading into Bradley Carnell like for you and maybe the rest of the squad? Obviously, I don't want you to speak for anybody else but yourself, but I'm just intrigued onto what the whole vibe was from having a coach who is a local legend in the area, has been at the club for just about, at that point, 2/3 of the club's lifetime. Just obviously an incredible servant, but you also had been there long enough to have a word on it, I'm sure, in a way.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would say like two completely different people, like to start like the conversation with, to start with Jim, that was the time like when I came to the union, like I have to give like so much credit to believe in me, to like got behind me all the time, even like during the time when like the contract negotiations were there and all this stuff, like how often like he called me and like how often like he spoke to me, and or how often like he backed me during like all the like also bad games, because like people also have bad games sometimes, and like he was just like such a coach who was like there for his team all the time. Like he always stood in front of the press if like players gets like treated bad or anything, and like he just like he was like a real family guy too. What I really liked about him too, like he always said, let's win a game, we guys get 2 days off, like that's like for us like family, like people, like really nice and all this stuff, because he also has a family, he has like a lot of kids too, and he really enjoyed the time on the beach too, in Delaware. So or in Seattle, I think. But like I said, and then just to get the news from Jim to Bradley was all a shock for us. Was a really, really big shock because nobody really saw it coming. I also didn't see it really coming. So nobody knew really where it goes because how you were saying 2/3 of the whole Union career he was the coach there, and how much success he brought over the 6 years he was there. When I was there, it was just incredible. I mean, we brought that club from really from the bottom all the way up to the top. And like I said, the most points over the last couple of years is just incredible in a club like Philadelphia. And all the credit to Jim and the staff too. We had some great assistant coaches too. And just the transition then to Bradley was a shock at the beginning. Nobody knew from the beginning what kind of Bradley is, what kind of guy he is. But he showed really, really quick that he's a really good coach with a really, really good coaching staff. I really enjoyed the time with him too. I mean, you saw it last year. We didn't play the best football. We didn't, like I said earlier, smash teams out 6-7-0 or anything. But we always said before the game in the huddle, we always said at least we match the intensity, and that was a big spirit from us last year. Just to go out there and fight for every inch and just enjoy the time. It was like you're saying, a lot of chaotic games, a lot of good games, but that's how we grew all together. And just all the stuff around, what made him an unbelievable coach was during the time we lost against Nashville and in Vancouver. He just brought us in the morning to training and went go-karting with us and said just forget these games now for a small moment, just do something else, get something else in your head, and these small steps. So I really, really enjoyed the time with both of them. They're completely different coaches, how they bring in training sessions, how they be in match days and all this stuff. But both coaches are really, really big in my career. Jim, of course, was 6 years my coach. So I still talk a lot to him. I also just talked last week to him, so really, really happy about the decision to join Philadelphia and got to know both coaches as well.
I appreciate that you still keep in touch with Jim and even hearing that you keep in touch with Brendan Aronson. I think it goes to show that the Philadelphia Union web, and it's probably soccer as a whole, is just so big and strong in terms of, you cross paths with so many players, but ultimately, they transcend when people leave and when people come, et cetera. And I know Todd's going to ask about that, but I'm just super intrigued. I don't know if you were part of it or not, but I remember shortly after Jim was fired, there were, if I recall, there were some practices that were still mandatory. I don't know if it was part of just sort of the scheduling, et cetera. Those must have been some of the most confusing practices, post losing, being out of the playoffs, still having to go in, and then next thing you know, Jim's not there. Were you there for those practices, and how chaotic was that specifically?
Yeah, I remember that. I saw Jim in the morning coming in the practice facility, and then we just saw him with the luggage leaving right away again, and we just had a meeting upstairs and just were in there and just got told Jim is not our coach anymore. And everybody was shocked, of course, after that. And I think Ryan Richter took the training over during this time. But I had a small back procedure done after the season there, because I had back problems a lot over the last couple months after a bad crash with one of my best friends, Leon, in training. So I had a small an injection done during this time. But I wasn't out there training anymore. I was really happy that I was out during this time because people were pissed because people were just annoyed to train out there. Nobody want to train anymore when you don't train for practices and all this stuff. So wasn't a good time. But like I said, you have to go through sometimes like that. I didn't go through in all the 7 years when I was in Philadelphia. We made 6 times the playoffs. So happily was working out as well. But I don't miss that time to just train after the season. It's not cool.
Todd, you're next. Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, you talked a little bit about the mood with Jim Curtin getting fired, and then the mood when Bradley Carnell was announced as the manager. I mean, that's got to be so difficult where you look, Phil Wedding was still there, Frank was still there, Ryan Richter was still with the organization, but I know not with the first team. So you still had this overlap of the old coaching staff that you guys were used to, but then here's Bradley Carnell bringing in a couple of his new people. But then you look at, too, in the offseason, Leon obviously leaves to go to Poland. Jack leaves to go to Chicago, and then you guys trade Jack McGlynn to Houston, and then during the season Daniel Gazdag winds up getting traded to Columbus. So how difficult was it for you to see just all this turnover in such a short amount of time with Bradley Carnell joining?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, Leon was the hardest loss because, like I said, he was my best friend in the club. Like, he was always like a talking point, and like, I think we just had like such a good relationship, like also the families with each other. So like that was just like a big loss for me. But I knew from the beginning on like that there's not a big chance that he will stay. Like he was pretty open to me all the time. We talked a lot and all this stuff. But like just to come back a little bit to the questions. At the beginning, when like all these players got traded, everybody thought like, oh, what's going on now? Like, you know, like we knew that like Bradley want to play this type of style. Like he want to like do this like high press and like do want to still play back out of the bag and all this stuff. And like we were just down in Spain and had this preseason game where Jack McGlynn played on the 6th, and like a couple of days later he got traded, and we just thought like he want to play out of the back, but like we almost get our best passer midfield away, you know. So it was like really hard during this time just to believe all the stuff, but like at the end it was like really working out. At the end it was like just incredible to see like their margin to like almost see like these players, they don't function in this system, I would say. But like I said, just to lose like these people around the locker room is big. But like I said, we believed from the beginning on in Bradley, like in the style he wanted to play. Of course, like at the beginning when he got announced, like people were talking, like a lot of players were reaching out to me as well, and like we as teammates were also talking. But like we saw straight from the beginning him with Mitch and the coaching staff, Rooney and the coaching staff, Frank and the coaching staff, that could be. And then like how we just started the season in Orlando to beat Orlando 4-2, beat Cincinnati at home, where everybody said they will probably lose now to Cincinnati and all the stuff. Like how we just started the season will always help the fan base as well, you know, like just to get like the fans behind you, the fans behind Bradley as well. And so like I think the preseason in Spain was something different, like we did it the first time, but Bradley and his coaching staff was just incredible, like supportive there, and like we did a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, you talked about.
I wanted on the record, super quick, Kai. I wanted on the record that myself, Todd was along with me, watching the likes of Jovan, knowing what Stanley could bring. We knew that 2025 was not going to be 2024 all over again. Those two guys specifically were just unbelievable where they came from, and just again maybe talks more about the scouting and the work that the union do. I mean, you're a perfect example of that. So I just wanted on the record that we were behind you guys in terms of like what the aspirations were going to be, but of course that just comes from watching film and really knowing how the sport actually works. So I want that on the record in case you didn't know. We were spot on with where 2025 was going to go.
No, 100%. Just to step in for that, Rick, at the beginning in Spain, it felt like a little bit weird because like we didn't have like this great group together. We were like a lot of young players, and like I also had like a lot of conversation with Ernst during this time, and like with Bradley as well, because like I just thought like, where's the squad going now, you know? And like we had open conversations for all and stuff, and they just said like, stay calm and like we will do our job. And then I think what I always say, like, of course, like you said, Jovan and Danley were big additions to the team, but like then they brought in like a player like Indiana Vasilev, what like really helped us, like also to go in there, even like just like to in the squad around, like India always had like a smile around his face, like he was just like an incredible like teammate. Like he just texted me yesterday how much he misses me in the locker room and all this stuff. So like and then the addition from Bruno too, like we thought like we need another striker on top, and just to see like these guys coming in showed us like that the team really want to go like all in and all the stuff. So like that's what I was thinking was a big turnaround, because both of the players just joined down in Clearwater, in Spain, they weren't there yet. So like that was a big turnaround for me as well.
Yeah, you had talked about Marbella, which is incredible that you guys as players got to experience that, to go to Spain and to not be back in Chester and cold. You're in the sunshine and new country, and you're playing against these European teams. I mean, talk about that experience for you, Kai, just going against, European teams, and you really got to test yourself against some of those top teams.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it felt always like a little bit, like when you're down Clearwater, you just play against like these usual MLS teams, because I think we played every year, probably in preseason against Cincinnati, played every year in preseason against Montreal. These were just like teams where like you just thought like, you played them already twice in the season, why you have to play them now again, and then just when we got the message, we're really going to Marbella, everybody like was excited about that. I mean, it's a really, really long travel. Everybody knows that as well, but the travel was worth it. We got to experience a little bit something else. I don't think a lot of American teams go abroad. I think it was just during this time Vancouver. So now a couple more teams are going like to Marbella as well. But like just to play these teams, I think the first game was Slavia Prague where we played. That was for a lot of players like the first time where they played against like a European team, and you saw the quality of them because they played the week later they played in the Europa League, I think. So it was just like that they went there with their full squad already, and just like to see how we could match up with them, like how we could like compare each other to them and stuff like that, was just good, and like was a really, really good experience for everybody.
For sure. One thing I do want to follow up on is we've had messages from fans on this podcast. We've seen the comments on social media, and I know in your goodbye letter to the fans, and you had even posted something on social media where it was always your decision to go back to Europe. But we heard from fans saying that, it had to be because Jacob Glesnes got traded to LA Galaxy, Ty Baribo got traded to DC United. That had to play into a factor of Kai wanting to leave the Union. Do you mind going on record and saying that wasn't the case, or was the case?
At the beginning, I really have to say it wasn't the case at all, because like I had the plans after like the season already, where I just like took a little bit of time off for myself and like just thought about stuff like that. But then I remember I just got the message from, I was always like talking to Ty, and the thing I always said like, I don't think there's like a big chance that he will like re-sign and all this stuff, because like other teams are just paying more in the league, and like he was just a guy who like was open to that too, and like wasn't like completely focused on Philly anymore. And I would say like, but not in a bad way at all. Like he was like giving everything. We saw the 2 goals against Chicago. Before that, like he had like a little bit like a broken streak, like where he didn't score. But like I always talked to him and said like, just believe in yourself. And like me and him were like really, really close friends. And but like I always thought like there's a big chance that he will not be there next year anymore. But like it was just between me and him, and then I got the message. I remember that from Jacob, and he just texted me all the stuff, and like I think that maybe gave me a little bit a last push. But like on the other side, I'm a player who like always want to drive like to the top, and like just want to drive like to the best things what I can do. And like during this time, I felt like which way the club really want to go. Like I had then conversations with, of course, Bradley. Like he tried to like explain me all the stuff, like why they did that, and all the stuff. So like I was just on vacation, and then I just talked like a lot with my family if they would be ready for a move like that. I don't know if you can ever be ready for a move like that. I was 7 years, and like how you guys know how close I was to my neighborhood, my family, and all this stuff. But like I just felt like now that's the time. That's my decision now. And then, like I said, for me, it had to be the right club. And I think just like with the talks, what I had like here with Birmingham now, just to see like how much they want to have me, like what's their plans for the future is, like what's their plans just like for the next 2-3 years is, and like where they want to go. And I just got like goosebumps really in like these talks, and just thought like, okay, if I don't do this step now, I will never do this step now.
after watching that initial interview, Kai, I sure hope you're still a Philadelphia Eagles fan and not a New England Patriots fan, considering how much you spoke about Tom Brady. Please tell me it's the case that you're still an Eagles fan.
100%. I was devastated 2 nights ago. I was watching the Eagles until like 12:30 in the morning here after I lost. But like, this will not go out of me. Even I talked like to Tom Brady and like just talked about like also like he was really open like to talk about like Eagles fans and like the Eagles team as well too. So like we had a really good conversation with each other.
No, that's awesome. And then I'm just kidding. No, it was awesome to hear that those conversations went well. And frankly, I guess I want to transition away from Philadelphia now and make sure that you have an opportunity to kind of talk about Birmingham, right? And unless I'm mischaracterizing what hotels in Birmingham look like, I don't think you're at a hotel right now. Maybe you are, but hopefully life in Birmingham has been going well. What has been sort of the adapting like going from obviously in a beautiful home in the United States to then having to shift your entire family unit over to Europe? What has that transition been like for you?
I mean, the turnaround was really quick. Like we couldn't really think about everything because, like I said, we went raw a ton on vacation and just took like some time in the sun, and then just like 5 days later we were flying to England already, and like just got the move done and all the stuff, and it was just like a busy few days. Like you guys can imagine, with 3 kids in a hotel room is like absolutely messy. It's like one of the worst things what can happen to like a guy like you. So I was always really, really happy when I could go in the morning just to practice and just be out of the room, because like I couldn't hear like the screaming anymore. I couldn't hear like that anymore, and all of this stuff. But like we had family over, so like they helped us with that stuff too. And like the club was really, really helping us as well to find like straight a house, to find like everything around and all this stuff. So like we just moved like last week in a house here in Birmingham, just waiting for all the furniture still like to arrive, like also from Philadelphia. About like everything takes a little bit longer, but like the next couple of days just like furniture will arrive and all this stuff, then we feel a little bit more home. But just like to move from the hotel and like from the hotel into like the house was just incredible, like you can probably imagine. And we are really, really happy now here in the house, and we got a beautiful house as well now too.
Wait, so you mean to tell me you score a goal over the weekend and then you move into a house? What a weekend you had, Kai.
Yeah, no, it was a great weekend. Like I said, it was just probably the relief from when the first game I was still in the hotel. So like just to get the transition done. And there was even like the first game was an early game. The kickoff was like at 12 p.m. So like a teammate just picked me up like at 7:45 in the morning, and we just drove straight to the stadium and all this stuff. So like to have like a good sleep there in the night, you guys probably can imagine, is tough. So like I had the best sleep what I probably could have with like my 2 boys in the bed together, and Jenny was sleeping with the baby in another room. So like it was just great. But like the emotions like during this first game was just incredible. Like I think probably if I wouldn't have slept the whole night, like I would still like play like that, because the emotions were just great. And it was a good start for myself.
I was going to say, I feel like you're flying at such a high right now. And I think as we spoke ahead of hitting record, so I hope you don't mind me sharing, but you're probably overwhelmed by the amount of support from that fan base, because I must admit, when I reported the news of your move and we started sort of breaking down what it would look like with that system and with babies over there and all the other pieces that are around you, I figure this is a great fit. There's so much space on the left side, and they don't really have somebody who can just go and take this space and put good crosses in. And lo and behold, you go and do it in your very first game. But what has it been like to sort of feel this love and really, frankly, in a championship? Not that it was necessarily needed, but sort of change the image of MLS to the fan base over there. Because I must admit, there were some comparisons from that fan base that were calling you or calling MLS the League of Plumbers, which obviously isn't the case, but nonetheless, some of them were kind of gun shy about your move. So I'm just intrigued. What has it felt like to sort of have this much positivity around you right now?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like the love that I just got like from Philadelphia fans was just incredible. I think like all the messages, personal message, just the comments under like the post and all the stuff were just incredible. The comments under like the Union post was incredible. Just the support that I still get like from all these fans to reaching out after games to me and like just even like just like commenting the photos and stuff. It was just incredible. It was overwhelming for myself too. Like I said, I almost had tears in my eyes after all this stuff. Like to see just the love that you got in Philadelphia was just incredible, and like it shows you that you did something right. You did something really right, and like just like you say, like here in Europe, the MLS is still like on like lower radar. I hope a lot of people like move over now and see like how real like the MLS is. That's like a really, really good league. Early when I came, like a lot of people still called it like retirement league because like all like just like all the stars were going like to the MLS and all this stuff. But I just feel like since like a couple of years now, it's just incredible the talent that is around like the MLS. When you see like some outgoing transfers for like 20, 25, 30 million, it shows you that there's talent in the MLS as well. And I always call them haters, to silent them, you know, like just to make them quiet, show what like the MLS is really about. Like I never expected like that I start like here my career in Birmingham like that, start straight first game, an assist at home in front of like 30,000 people, and then the second game, just a cup game, what like here in the FA Cup was just like really, really special pitch in a stadium you would never expect in MLS, but it was just like an incredible place to play. It showed you like where you're coming from and all this stuff. So like just to see all this environment around there and just like to see like the people just turn their reaction a little bit, go more positive about like not just about me, maybe also about MLS a little bit more. Maybe people will watch it now a little bit more, but like I said, if I can show like people also around the world or like here in England that like the MLS is a really good league, that players also can straight step in and like get their performance and all this stuff. It's just incredible, and like just like to see their reaction as well is like really positive now.
Yeah,
I joke with people, but I think the next one up is that either Birmingham or someone in the championship could use would be Frankie Westfield, and I don't think it'll be a long time till that kid makes his way over to Europe. What a talent!
Yeah, no, like you said, Frankie. I always look Frankie about myself a little bit too, because like just the mentality he brings to the pitch, like he has no fear at all. Like how he just stepped in over the last couple of years. I had like a lot of conversations with him during my time in Philadelphia and like tried to help him as well. And like he just stepped in and like didn't care at all what people are saying, what people are like writing probably, and like just played his style every time. Like he was on the pitch, he showed up, and like just to do that at this age was just really, really good. And like I said, his big thing is like his mentality, no fear at all. So like I hope it always has to be the right step, like I said, but like I think he has a great potential to also go to Europe one day.
Now, you had talked about how Leon was one of your best friends in Philadelphia. You obviously had Oliver. You guys did that camp during the summertime, but I don't really want to focus on that. I want to focus on two of your current teammates in Marvin and Phil, two fellow Germans. How big of a help have they been to settle in to Birmingham?
Yeah, big. I mean, always the Germans, they always connect pretty good with each other. I played with Phil at Schalke already, like 2015, 16, I think. So I knew him before that already. We didn't stay in contact anymore, but like just now over the last couple of days, like our kids play already with each other, because it's hard like to move to another country for like the family, and like they don't have friends there yet. We don't know anybody yet here around here in the neighborhood and all this stuff. So like just that they show their support as well. And then Marvin, like I always just knew him from the TV. He was a big striker in Germany, in Bremen. Just scored a lot of goals there, and like just like what kind of player he is, what kind of person he is. It's just like really special. And like we have like our small German crew already together with Christoph Clara, our captain too. Like he's Austrian, so he speaks German too. Like he was also really helping me the first couple of days. And just to turn around like with like all the restaurants around here, like all the good food spots, what the kids can do, like all this stuff, like they know already a lot and about schools and all this stuff. So they were helping me a lot in the last couple of days.
I think as we wind down, Kai, because I want to be mindful of your time, 47 minutes, incredibly kind of you, especially this time of a day out in the UK for you. looking back at your time with Philadelphia, 250 plus games, 10 goals, 54 assists, an incredible record. What are you most proud about over the 7 seasons that you had here? If you can pick one or two moments, or maybe it's a I don't know, what is the most proud thing that you have from the 7 years here? I'll leave it up to you to interpret.
I mean, definitely like the titles what we brought to Philadelphia. I think like just to bring silverware, the first time silverware to Philadelphia is something special. For me, the most special one is the last one now, because I could enjoy it with my family. Even like my cousin was there with his 2 kids and his wife during this time. So like it was just an incredible moment. We have like really, really nice pictures from the kids, how they were just running in my arms after the game. All 3 kids were on the pitch with me together, and that was just like an incredible feeling. Of course, my 2 best MLS best 11 is like also like a really, really special thing in my case, because like you said, like everybody thought like he's coming from the 3rd league, like what should he do in this league? Like he will not adapt to this league, and just show like people, like I said, like silent them a little bit and just turn things around a little bit and just like show like what a guy. I never said that I'm the best football player, but I'm a hard worker, and that's like what brings me the most on the pitch, like my mentality and all this stuff. So like I was always like a hardworking person on and off the pitch, and just to see like all the people I got to know in Philadelphia, I'm really, really proud of that too. And like I said, I couldn't put like any special moment out where I just say like, that's my most special moment in my Philadelphia career, because the 7 years, they were just incredible.
That's awesome. And I guess if you have any, you obviously wrote a letter to the fan base, but if you wanted to say anything now that you have the floor to our viewers and listeners, if there's one last message to the folks in Philadelphia, which will continue to follow you, what would you say to them?
I mean, if I say like a full message, probably it would like 2 days long, you know, like I said, like in the letter, like I'm so incredibly proud to have been like a Philadelphia Union player. I loved every single moment about that. I loved like every single time I stepped on the pitch at Subaru Park, and enjoyed the time with my neighbors, with the family, with the whole fan base and all the stuff around. So like, thank you for all the support they gave me over like all the years. Thank you for everything they did for me and my family over all the years. Just to see that I couldn't do it in a video, because I know that I would cry in a video like that, but like, to be honest, like that. But like I said, it was just an incredible time doing this here. But in the back of my head, I also have to say, I don't think, like I would say, like that's it for me, you know, like there's probably a chance at the end of my career, or like in a couple of years, to come back to this place, because it's just like a really special place. I don't want to get the hopes too much up and all this stuff, but of course, like right now, I'm just thinking about my new club. I enjoy every moment in the new club. I wanna put my name also on this club, like right now, and just like to show everybody like what I can do, like that I can also be a big player in Europe, and like one day, never say never. I said like this at like my stuff too, and I said never say never, that like I move back to the MLS will happen. But like I said, now I want to enjoy my time here in England. It was always a dream for myself to play in England, and I can't wait for the next couple of weeks, for the next couple of years to play here, and really enjoy it so far.
Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead, Jose. Sorry.
Well, Kai, no, I was just going to say, Kai, thank you so much for your time. I hope that you put a strong tackle against Brendan Aronson. Don't injure him, but make sure you get stuck in and enjoy it, man. I know I specifically, I'm so happy for you. I'm excited for you. I think you have the entire, if not 90% of the fan base tuning in at 7 a.m. to watch some of these championship games nowadays. So congratulations, and Todd, take us away here.
Yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, it's incredible to see you get this opportunity. It's incredible to see you get off to a dream start. I'm sure you couldn't have dreamt it any better to get an assist and then a goal. And yeah, like Jose said, looking forward to watching you continue to have success in Europe, and watch what you and your teammates at Birmingham City can do, and hopefully make a push to the playoffs, and just dream big. You don't know what's going to happen. And you guys definitely have talent. You guys definitely have a coach who seems to believe in you guys. And we know what that does in Philadelphia. You know, people overlook you guys, and you guys break all these expectations. And why not be it with Birmingham this season? But Kai, thank you so much for your time this evening. And I think Philadelphia fans are going to enjoy this one. And you are a legend in Philadelphia, Kai. And I think you realize that. And like you said, you know, maybe you return one day.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for having me. It was great to talk to you guys. I could even talk longer to you guys, but like I said, I really like the time or the city where I'm at now, because the project is just incredible, and I will follow the union all the way. The games will be at a good time or in a bad time probably now, because it's 7:30 kickoff, so it's going to be late games. But there will probably be some games what I can probably still catch, because we usually also play on a Saturday. So just to stay a little bit longer awake, I will definitely do that. I'm still can't wait for the summer as well, just to go back to Philadelphia to see all my neighbors, my friends, and all this stuff. Hopefully catch some World Cup games, but one day I hope that I can be back in the stadium with everybody, just to say a proper goodbye to everybody in the stadium. That's what I really want to do. This year it's probably a little bit harder because of the World Cup now in the summer, but hopefully soon.
For sure. All right, so there is the interview with Kai Wagner. Jose also had to leave out, so you guys are going to be stuck with me in the post Jose and Kai Wagner show. But what an incredible interview with Kai. A lot of great insights and a lot of things I think that this fan base wasn't really sure went down behind the scenes. You heard Kai talk about it, where, yeah, they really weren't rumors every single year, where you saw teams interested in Kai. Kai was close to going to Leeds United. Even said that he had conversations with Jesse Marsch when he was at Leeds. You heard Kai talk that, yeah, he had a medical book, a flight booked, and last minute stayed in Philadelphia. And so what an incredible 7 years for Kai in his time in Philadelphia. And just so many things I loved in that interview. So many great comments, a lot of good questions. And I hope, and I'm pretty sure this fan base will think fondly upon Kai's 7 seasons in Philadelphia. And Jose and I had talked about it when we announced Kai was joining Birmingham City when we did that show. You can really make a case that Kai Wagner is the greatest Philadelphia Union player in the club's history, for sure one of the best left backs in all of MLS. And to see the things that he did as a left back, he mentioned it, 15 assists, breaking the most assists for a defender in a single season. I mean, that's unheard of. And to see Kai finish with 54 assists, 10 goals in over 22,000 minutes, 253 games played, incredible stuff. And Kai really was at the heart of some incredible Philadelphia Union teams. And it does feel like we're entering a new chapter of the Philadelphia Union organization. And I can't wait to see what those seasons are going to look like in years to come. But yeah, what an incredible player that Kai Wagner was, what an incredible person he was, with the short stories that he shared. And yeah, looking forward to that FA Cup matchup between Birmingham City and Leeds United. And yeah, it's going to be an incredible match. And like Jose said, put in a strong tackle there, Kai, but don't injure Brendan. Do not injure Brendan. And yeah, I know you guys, the fans, are going to continue to follow Kai. You guys are going to continue to pay attention to what he's doing in England. And we'll see. Maybe in the summertime, maybe he'll bang the drum and the stadium will go crazy and Kai will get his proper goodbye. But yeah, if you guys aren't following Kai on Instagram, that's where he's most active. You can follow at Kai, WAAAGNER, Kai Wagner. And if you guys aren't following Jose Nunez on Instagram, Twitter, you can go ahead and follow Jose at Jose R. Nunez 19 José91, I believe, is his handle on Twitter. I should know that. And if I don't get that correct, Jose's probably going to kill me. But if you guys aren't following the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, follow Free Kick Pod, where we get your podcast with a free kick. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel live every single podcast, youtube.com/freekickpod. And then, of course, you guys can check out my writing, the podcast, or goals breakdown video all in one place, thefreekick.substack.com. But yeah, over the moon with that interview. I hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of great stuff, a lot of great answers from Kai. And I don't know, maybe it makes you guys put Kai up higher in your Mount Rushmore of greatest Philadelphia Union players ever. And yeah, just lost for words. And again, just extremely grateful for Kai's time and for Jose's time being on the West Coast and California, and me obviously being on the East Coast, how we were able to just coordinate 3 different time zones and make this work for you guys. So just incredible stuff from those guys to make this work and for you guys, the listener. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and José and I will be back. I don't know, maybe we'll do a surprise podcast when I'm away in Florida. Maybe José will join us again from another airport, and we'll just continue to check off the list of different airports José is doing a podcast from. But until then, my name is Todd, and this is the Free Kick Podcast.